Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love.
Do-do-do-do.
Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality gaze.
Let's love.
Let's go fly a kite and tell me you're sorry. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me.
Boy,
Tell me.
It doesn't matter what she apologizes for. He just needs her to say sorry. Like, I'm sorry I stepped on your shoe. Boy, I have never seen someone with more fragile feelings in my life.
Boy, I wondered if this all would be fixed if they were, or better if they were just two women that he wasn't able to say as a man, just say, you hurt my feelings.
He can't.
If he said that, that would solve well, no,
You know
he's
what,
still
though?
terrible.
I don't think she herself could even validate that because she thinks she's right. And he needs to be right all the time. And he needs her to apologize and slightly grovel. Like he kind of did.
He does what I
Because it's so
Are
funny.
you talking about 90 Day Fiancé or what your exes need to do?
What I prefer.
But you love it when they grovel.
I love it, especially on their knees. I also want to apologize. We're going to go back to this in a second. I want to apologize to all of our audience for missing when you said this. I think this was the watch along. We recorded a watch along, and you said you were talking about everything, everywhere, everywhere, everything. I always mess this up. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed an opportunity to say that's what they called me in college.
You did.
That is a failure.
That's a failure.
I'm going to apologize to our audience. And I'm saying the joke now does not redeem me for it. But
no, it almost kind of makes it worse.
I know. I'm saying now it should have been, have you seen everything everywhere all at once? That's what they called me in college. Hey, boys, it's everywhere.
It should have been.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's kind of sad now, actually. Anyway, back to Violet and Riolet.
This is reality gaze.
I just want to say the funniest thing about all of this, he's like, so you don't have anything else to say to me?
No,
So you're fine. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Wait, did you say something?
Did you? It sounded like I'm sorry.
No.
This is maddening. This man is exhausting to be with.
He is exhausting.
Because he apologized so she would. That's the only reason.
He didn't. That was not a meaningful apology. I don't think it was a meaningful apology at all.
Now, is she being squirrely with details?
100%.
Yes.
She's not an angel.
Yeah. But, boy, this behavior is never going to change for him.
No.
He is always going to need her to say, if he apologizes, all I can do is stare at you, open that Sprite bottle while I'm
trying to be
swear
really
God,
discreet.
every
You know what?
time I start talking,
I'm bad at that. And you're right. I'm going to be better about that. Because I was trying to be, and the bottle wouldn't come off.
Y'all, every time I start talking and he goes to do something,
You're right.
It steals focus in the worst way.
Well, I keep thinking, I forget sometimes we're on video. Welcome to our intimate portrait.
Hello.
If you're on audio, you're right. I'm going to be better at that.
Wait till a time when you were actually talking.
I'm feeling like I want to compromise because you shamed me for something and our audio engineer told you it was you and not me that was messing up, and I'm having the best week ever.
Frank, you're going to pay for that. That's not how we do things here, reality gays.
It was great. Anyway,
Yeah.
so now Poodle's on edge, y'all. The fucking didn't work. But this is reality gaze.
This is reality gaze.
Yes.
We'll talk.
I'm Maddie, and that's Poodle.
We'll talk. Hello. We'll talk much more about Riolet in just a second. But a couple of announcements. We did a collab very recently.
We did.
Kind of an interview, actually, like very, very, very Barbara Walters of us.
Yeah, I don't know. if
With
it's Barbara,
noted
but-
producer, media mogul, I'm going to call her that, Jessica Sebastian Dye, which of course these two queens with Christine Dye.
we started singing Phantom of the Opera to her. And she's a very nice, beautiful
Lovely
British
British woman.
and just kind of stared at us and blinked. No, she laughed.
She was very kind.
She got it.
But she is the showrunner for a show, not showrunner,
Executive producer.
EP of a show called The Marriage Pact on the Roku channel. And I'm going to say, I hate most everything that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
I liked this show.
I
and
really
liked
liked
the
it.
concept. I've only watched one episode so far. You've watched more of it than I
I've
have.
watched 4 now.
You don't have to have a Roku to watch this, or you don't even have to pay for Roku.
You don't even have to have an account. I just went to the website.
It's like a
and watched it.
library card. You just have to have a name.
It is.
And you have to register your email, and it's free. You have to watch with commercials,
But not a lot.
They're quick. And y'all, the idea is these are people. Some of these people are friends who've had a marriage pact that they're going to get married in their 30. It's a concept I've never understood.
You don't understand it. Let me explain this. Y'all know a marriage pact where you're drunk at a bar with your best friend and you said, look, this is when you were 22 and you thought you had to be married by the time you were 30.
Not familiar.
And you say, if
Ever.
we're not married by 30, you want to get married and have a kid together. And you go, yeah, let's do it. Well, this show is actually bringing together people that have made that. Some of them have actually dated before and broke up. Some of them have been friends for 20 years and have no physical connection or going to see.
And some of them are 22.
Some of them are 22, and as his girlfriend says, we can't sleep together at night because that's when the devil does his work. In the same bed, can't do it.
I would totally have tried to bang that guy
Yeah, you
in a
would've.
bonfire.
It's really the production team on this are people that have worked on The Bachelor and also people showrunner worked on Love Is Blind
And Bachelor and Married at First Sight.
Yeah, Married at First Sight. So y'all, it's really
smart.
I thought Roku, what kind? And honestly, it looks like something you would see on Netflix. It looks gorgeous.
And we're
It's
not
really
being
well
paid
done.
to say this either.
No,
because
we met through. Basically, you have a mutual contact, and they reached out and said, "Hey, we think you'd love to cover this show."
And I wanna
we just don't have
advocate
the
for-
time because of Matt Sharp.
No, and I want to advocate for shows that are saying something different in the
Especially
marketplace.
shows that are helmed and ran and created by
women.
Yeah.
This is a show, female showrunner in this too.
So anyway, I really, really like it. I really like the. I kind of skipped forward because I wanted to watch the end before we did the interview. So I've watched the first 3 episodes, and then the ending. There's some gagged and goop moments, and people are fucking messy. It's good.
And there's a woman named Grace who kind of talks like this.
who gets really angry at everybody.
But I love her.
And then
regardless.
Marianne is like, I can't. Our age is such a big difference. And she's only 6 years older.
Yeah.
So-
Boy, but you know what I will say? She feels 20 years older because she acts older than her age, even though she doesn't look it. He acts younger than his age.
Yeah, I love her, though.
Yeah.
And I like him. I'm worried. You know what? We're not recapping that show. I could go
No.
into it all now. So The Marriage Pact on Roku TV.
Roku
y'all.
TV,
Check it
all
out.
you need is an email.
And we're going to have, I think it probably already dropped by the time you saw this. It's already on our public feed, our interview with Jessica. So you can check that out.
Yeah, another collab, more collab news. Some of you have wanted us to do this for a long time, and we've just never gotten together with scheduling. We did a... Jesus, I can't look at my phone. There's too many things coming through.
A lot of dicks.
No, unfortunately. All work stuff.
It's Wednesday.
We did a collab with Hollywood Crime Scene, Rachel and Desi.
It was great. I hope they cut out the part where you admitted to murdering someone. Because that's going to come back to get you when we recorded that.
That could have been used against me in some way.
think that was intelligent.
I hopefully our people have cut that.
Yeah.
I was in the moment.
Well, it did happen during sex. So
Crime of passion.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
But they're so much fun. They've been friends for a while, and we've been wanting to do something. And so I know a lot of you guys also listen to that podcast.
Yeah, so we're excited to do that.
We had a lot of fun talking Broadway and some scandals and anything else we talked about. I'm sure that was funny.
We haven't recorded it yet.
We haven't recorded it yet,
but we're going
but
to.
By the time
You
you're
hear it.
listening, we have. See how that works?
See how that works. Also, well, actually, by the time you're listening in just a few days, on Monday, Tuesday, we'll be in Denver for Podcast Movement with Mary Payne and Pink Shade.
Docu-Sweeties.
Pink Shade and Docu-Sweeties. Chris and Wall will all be there. We're doing a panel, so we might have some collabs. If we all don't get too drunk at the pool, we might podcast together. We'll see. I don't know.
I got a lot of business associates I need to contact.
Oh, in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mile High City, indeed.
Indeed. Anything else? I think Plathville, September 5th. Y'all, Darfield is a hit.
She's not of the moment. She is the moment.
Barbie? Who's Barbie?
Who's Barbie?
Darfield.
Y'all, just join the movement. It's not worth fighting.
No.
Can't, like Leanne Rimes says, can't fight the moonlight.
You can't fight the
fight
moonlight.
the Darfield.
No. And just so you know, Darfield, we finally are. I'm going to have a little bit more time in September. And one of the things I want to work on is just revamping our merch.
Yeah.
And a Darfield merch will be coming.
If you are unfamiliar with Darfield, what have you even been doing with your life?
Go to our Instagram and TikTok.
Our Instagram will show you the creation of Darfield. Our TikTok is also there. You actually did a TikTok meme about Last Resort.
Oh, and it went viral.
And it was well
kind
done.
of like a Swaloo.
True. Like me in Denver. Something went viral.
You watched The Last Resort.
I did.
I'm definitely right now. We've got Denver. Then we're going to be traveling to New York to do some meetings. So but instead, Kim from Cray Cray and I are going to do some stuff, and some other podcasters will reach out. So I will be, not every episode, but I will be doing actual episodes about Last Resort.
I'm going to be surreptitiously watching and saying I'm not. So
I think that's what a lot of people are going to do.
I will not be podcasting about this show. I will be talking about it occasionally.
Did you enjoy it, the episode?
Enjoy is an interesting word.
I mean, it really is just the last 15 minutes or what's gapped.
I was gooped.
Because you didn't even see
Kalani, at mostly Kalani covering her mouth and still vomiting out what she did, because y'all, Kalani had a hall pass.
Yeah.
Swaloo gave Kalani a hall pass, and she used it. You heard it, y'all. She gave,
the hall pass was for
took
kissing.
It in.
The hall pass was for kissing, but she decided to
She
fuck.
upgraded.
Yeah, y'all.
Sorry, a hall pass is a hall pass. I really believe that.
What do you mean a hall pass is a hall pass?
If someone gives you a hall pass, that's a hall pass. It's redeemable for anything. It's not like you need to have a punch card like a bunch of subs. That's a hall pass.
Wow.
Doesn't matter.
You write that in the will.
That's in the Poodle Handbook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hall pass is a hall pass. It don't matter what you done for it. I was proud of her.
It's probably the first time she had an orgasm, because apparently a Swaloo's not doing it.
she even said, when you're with a woman, it's important that she also finishes.
And he was like, what?
What?
What do you mean? Anyway.
I will say
it was shocking.
I'm
Shocking that they're
excited
talking
about watching them go on a boat excursion, but Angela brings Michael on a iPad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's absurd.
It's absurd.
I could not care less about Pratt and Liz. Could not care
Small
less.
Ed, as Yara says. I fast forward him.
They make me very uncomfortable.
Molly and Kelly aren't together anymore, but I still am interested watching them because we kind of don't know what happened to them. It's just like we heard they broke up. So I feel there's a lot of venom that
There's
they
a lot
both
of
have.
animosity. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you kind of see. This is my prediction. Everybody says Jovi and Yari don't have problems. I think a bombshell is going to be dropped from that relationship.
My theory is it's
Bombshell.
one of two things. I think she's on birth control.
Not telling him.
Yep. I think it's that, or they already bought that apartment.
They already bought that apartment,
She bought
yeah.
that apartment.
I think there's going to be people are saying they're fine. Mark my words, y'all.
I think Yara always has an exit strategy. She took a couple classes at the Hudolskaya Institute.
She did.
That's like number 2.
That is number 2.
Always have an exit plan.
Right under deny.
Right. Deny.
Anyway.
Always have a back door.
I'm devouring
in your
it.
back door. Because
I might be talking to them. We'll see.
We will be talking about it occasionally. We're not recapping the whole thing.
No. Ugh,
Where'd they get these therapists too? They all look like they came out of a catalog.
They're very one woman is more of a traditional therapist. Another woman is a trauma therapist, which is needed for 90 Day Fiance. And then one guy is, I forget the name of it. It's called like temperance therapy.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I had never heard of that. That was not something that was just that when I studied psychology.
Or temperament therapy.
Temperament therapy. All right, let's move on.
That's all. Riolet.
Let's talk about Riolet.
So I can buy my girl flowers until she says I'm sorry. It's so funny. You said let's go fly a kite, and mine was going to be something about flowers, but still, she needs to say I'm sorry.
Violet walks up to she just walks in the bakery full on.
I'm kind of a fan, to be honest.
Look, y'all, I think Riley got so terrible. I think some people are forgetting and thinking Violet's like this saint.
No, she's
Y'all
not.
remember, she can get kind of gross too.
Yeah.
And she walks in and she's very distraught, but I feel like this is a little bit of her just wanting him to feel like utter shit.
Yeah.
And putting it on. Did you get that feeling?
She needs to. Well, I think what she's dealing with is, we talk about a lot of. I said when someone says you disrespected me, she feels a lot of shame for the way that woman his sister / friend talked to her, and I agree. It would bother me if someone says answer her like that.
Oh yeah.
And
it was terrible.
And also, I still will never get over him saying, beat it to her.
That was gross.
If anyone, I don't know why that triggered me so bad. If anyone ever said that to me any time, I would never talk to them again.
What if you were in a leather swing and covered in boy butter?
Different context.
Okay.
Completely.
different context. Gladly beat
The
it.
addition of boy butter changes everything.
They should be a sponsor by now.
It's one of
I'm gonna reach
life's
out.
mysteries.
I'm going to reach out to them. Why not? What if we
that
got
it's
free lube?
The fact that the boy butter comes in something that looks like a country crock, actual tub.
My brother almost put it on bread.
Why don't you travel with it? They should
What
make
do
it
you want me to
smaller.
Go to Oklahoma and use cheap lube?
They should make it smaller.
I know. All right. Sorry, y'all. You missed that one.
I
if you
prefer
ever
a
heard.
little one that looks like a perfume bottle. You can
So
travel
you can
it.
Keep it on the counter and dab it on your neck.
Yes. Anyway, what were we saying? So he unblocked her.
that made me like. He's like, so I unblocked her,
Like
and sent her
children.
Yeah.
So he's like, if we need, I want her to. We both acknowledge our roles and what happened. I want to say this again, and if you were one of these people, think about why you're doing it. If you're apologizing and if you're apologizing because or hoping or really almost going to demand that the other person apologize, like you're only apologizing so the other person will say I'm sorry. That's not an accurate apology.
No.
You're not really contrite.
No.
But that's what he wants.
That is exactly what he
Yeah.
wants. Because even when he's talking, she says, I wish you would have protected me. He's like, you're right. I should have protected you. And then,
But anything else you want to say?
but she does say to him, she goes, yeah, your apology's not enough. Before he even does his shitty stuff, she's already, and he said, well, are you saying this is verging on my fault? And that's where she's like, yes. And he finally figures out that she says, and he later says he doesn't believe it, and honestly, I don't either. She says that he's misunderstood, that she gets confused because of the language barrier, and that if he needs to talk to her about something serious and has questions for her, the reason she's dodged these questions because she didn't know what he was saying, and she needs him to translate.
I think I don't want to be super skeptical of it because it could be that. It does seem convenient.
It does seem
y'all, because I'm the same way when I'm in a foreign country and I may not know what's happening if I'm stopped by the cops. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
You said that to a guy you fucked from Iowa.
Exactly.
He was talking. He said, I can't understand
I didn't
you.
know the customs here.
Get the corn out of your mouth.
So
I've never been to Iowa. I bet the guys are cute there. Have you?
I have not been.
We're not going.
I do have a shirt that's in the shape of Iowa that says "Welcome to Ohio," though.
Oh.
So Riley says, so is this whole conversation going to be about like, I'm apologizing and you have no fault? He's like, I just need to know.
It was such a shitty. Like, there's a better way to do that. He could have said, I want us to look at if he had said something, but he doesn't have the emotional intelligence of when there's a breakdown. Often, both parties have a responsibility. Let's talk about our responsibility in this and take out the word fault. But no, he is a fucking 13-year-old boy.
Yeah. And he says, oh, I'm just asking. Y'all, if people talk like that, they're not just asking. They're wanting something from you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And anyway, and he's like, well, how can we move forward? And she said, I'm willing to answer any question you have in writing. Do you think that was honest?
She says that.
Yeah. That's why I kind of believed her.
I think she'll answer the question. I just don't know if she'll answer it truthfully.
Yes, that's fair.
Because I think that you were right though. I did believe her in that moment.
Yeah. So they're going to be there for another 4 days. So she wants to take him to the Buddhist temple, and the next day, and she even says that this. I feel like this was honest. She said, "I just want a man who will love me, take care of me, and protect me." Because remember, she did not have that before.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a woman in her, I think she's 40?
At least.
Yeah. This is a woman with two daughters, two older daughters.
Older daughters.
And so this is not your textbook 20-something-year-old Asian woman that we do see a lot.
No. It's not a David Annie thing.
And this is someone who's lived a life, who's trying to do something different now. And she knows what she wants, and she's not going to really bend over. Or if she does, it'll be for a price. Like the Poolskaya handbook says.
Not that we've bent over.
If you do bend over, quote the price first.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Then they go kite flying, and they're in the park. It's crowded. It's fun. It is a little weird that she brings this up here, but it's 90 Day Fiancé, which is the 90 Day Fiancé, y'all. One of the tenets of 90 Day is to talk about important things in inappropriate places.
Yeah.
So she brings up the money thing of basically, if I come, can you sponsor me?
She says it, support me, really. She's like, how much do you have in your bank account? And I immediately went, ooh, which for us in America, we don't say.
We don't say that. Riley, though, he answered, he's like, I've got $100,000. It's not
like,
all.
that's not a ton. He's like, but I make broke look good. I wouldn't like hearing that, but I know what he's meaning.
He's trying to say he can stretch a dollar.
He's saying I can support you and your daughters. And then he's like, but I want to talk about enough, but I hope that you'll be honest with me. Sorry, I hope that because I've just been honest with you, another quid pro quo here, that he says, since I've just done this for you, it's all transactional.
It's like he's in 4th grade and just learned what compromise was.
Yeah.
And it's like he's saying, my teacher, Mrs. Sherborne, talked about compromise, and I'm going to give a little and then you give a little. Like he thinks it's that basic.
But he's thinking of it as like the the Missouri Compromise, like it's a political treaty.
Yes.
Or a land treaty. Like, we're going to give up this part of Alaska, Seward, and we're going to give you this instead.
Like a poodle marriage.
Exactly. And this is emotion. Yeah. And it has nothing to do, but what he's wanting is he wants to win so bad. He wants to make her acknowledge his winning.
I think there is that, but I also think he just can't say it. I think underneath all of that, she really hurt his feelings, and he wants an acknowledgement of his pain.
And he can't.
He can't say that.
He needs her to say, "I'm sorry," without. Yeah.
Because it backfires on him, because he says, when we had the fight and you texted my father, he said, it was the way he worded. He said, "I want to know that you regret that text," and she was like, "I don't see any fault."
This is something a long time ago that he's like, "Just say you're sorry for anything. Are you sorry you stepped on my foot? Let's play charades. I'll start first. I'm it rhymes with like Lori. Rhymes with Lori. Come on, say it. Say it.
No, not my fault. Sewer?
And he's like, you know what I called you? You were King Kill Feelings. And the thing about this is she thinks she was completely right because this woman knows how to hold a grudge. And she thinks...
So does this man.
Exactly. So she thinks it's completely acceptable to send text to this man's father.
In a way, I wonder if they're similar in a lot of ways.
Probably.
The way they go about conflict. If he had just said, "You hurt my feelings," and then she responded poorly to that, then he knows that she's a piece of shit and doesn't care about him.
Agree.
But now he's never going to know.
She can't admit it.
We wish you the best.
We're not going to resolve this today. David and Sheila. I've got to say, this is still the heart of the season for me. I don't know if it's going to work out, but damn.
Let me guess. When John Reel said, "I was uncomfortable with David, but I don't feel that way anymore, and I would like to learn sign so we can talk," did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I went, this is what the show is made of. I kind of could cry now. But no, I think, you know where I got emotional was when he was playing like slap hand with the little kid, and he's like, I realized I can't talk to him because, number one, he doesn't speak English nor ASL, and I can't hear him, but I can play games, and that's how my father and I communicated. And it was such a beautiful moment to see that.
And I thought, your father never learned sign language?
Yeah. Can't imagine.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Can't imagine.
That's insane to me. I mean, I'm not judging. It's just so.
I am a little, but
I do feel like a father. Actually, I guess I am a little. I feel like if your child is born deaf, you need to learn the language to speak
maybe
to them.
there was shame associated at that time.
Maybe.
And
David's older, a different time too.
And he went away to a school.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, y'all.
You can do it, though. The Jalonas at Ardmore Little Theater, when they did Children of a Lesser God, they had some deaf kids come in for the play, and they ended up from the deaf school in Oklahoma. There's a deaf school in Oklahoma.
Okay. I was really worried that they did Children of a Lesser God with no deaf people.
No. They actually...
Okay. Woo!
So they actually contacted the Oklahoma School for the Deaf, and so they had the kids come in, and the Jalonas ended up adopting one. Now it's been her son for 20 years, and she learned sign language. The whole family did.
So just for clarity, I hate that I have to belabor this.
Yes, the same Vicky Jalona who was a fish got a swim woman in Showboat.
I need to say, did they have deaf people in the cast?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't make sure they just brought the school for the deaf in just to teach sign
No,
language.
no, they were part of the show.
Just clarifying. So it wasn't like you wearing a lot of self-tanner.
No, but they did that 3 years later for The King and I. They did that. They did a lot of orange ankles and orange
we can't
wrists.
do this.
Well, this was
There's so many shows to do with white people.
It was 1996.
I get it, but damn.
Actually, no. I was in college. It was 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, it is Ardmore.
But I judge him too. He should learn.
So we are going to the beach. And he's like, only a week after her mother's death. And I was like, it's only been a week.
It's only been a week.
So they show the kid bonding with David. And he's like, I do want to bond with this kid because I do want to say, because he's part of our family. And they do, of course, he's like splashing around, and they do the Def Cam underwater sounds.
Oh yeah, they do.
Which I the first time I saw it on Love After Lockup, I got it, and it was kind of like interesting.
I don't mind them doing the first like maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but we get it now.
This is episode 12. You need to stop this.
I don't think
we are seeing his experience is different than hearing adults. We get that. Mm-hmm. It now just feels like a gimmick that is manipulative.
It also depends on the setting. If they were in some place where there was a lot of loud noise, like the noises were important to remind us. But yeah, I agree. But now Sheila's mom's death made Sheila realize, though, she wants a better life for her and John Real. Like, she doesn't want to stay poor. So I thought she was going to end up wanting to stay there and help her father, but it looks like, I feel like she's getting more all in to move to the U.S.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people who are in the situation, the parents are like, you need to go have a better life for your son. So I don't know if the parents are basically saying you need to stay, and also they send money back. So it is more of a thing. So there can be an income stream coming in.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It's a different. It's interesting you say that. It's a different kind of. We would say, oh, the father. She needed to take care of her father, but the fact that money is being sent home trumps all that.
Yeah, they.
So John Real says
even the interpreters they're swimming in the beach.
I
Amy.
love her. Someone in the Sissy Squad posted said that saw them on the couch and had the interpreter and David and Sheila, and it said, I thought for a second this was one of those threesomes from me, you, and my ex. Kind of does look like it.
Kind
of. So we find out that basically the kid says, you said before, I want to learn ASL so I can talk to David, because first I thought he was a little strange, but now I know him. And we find out that the kids, as Sheila said, he doesn't really see his father that much because he left him. And right in front of the kid.
Left him, and he's just sitting there. So
will you be
really
his second father? And in a second, David goes, yeah, I want him to be part of our life.
Did you cry there too?
A little bit. And he said, well, I think they asked, do you want to come to America? And he's like, no, why would I want to do that?
But yes, it's important to ask them, but also, of course, he doesn't want to go. His friends are there.
Yeah. Also, this is going to sound like a little bit like this is not taking the kids.
Oh no! When you preface things, it's not good for our show.
It's Sheila's decision to do this.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's Sheila's decision. So I think this is a little misdirection from producers.
I agree.
I think the kids gonna want to go. Show him an American movie and say it's just like this, even though Omaha's not.
Just lie to him?
Come on. People lie to kids every day.
What are you going to show him? Top Gun Maverick and say, you get to fly a plane.
Maybe.
Wow.
Hey, you call it manipulation. I call it persuasion.
Don't show him serendipity. He won't want to come.
No. I think that takes place. No, that's in New York City.
It's in New York City. Are there a lot of movies? How many movies are there that take place in Omaha?
I don't know. Omaha sissies are going to scream at us about it.
Probably not a lot. There should be a lot of songs of Omaha. You can sing it well.
There's Counting Crows. Omaha, somewhere in middle America. You don't know Counting Crows, do you? At all? Like, literally, that album should have been, you were born when that album was, the time you were born was so popular. No one knew that album.
I remember Don't Counting Crows. They had a lot of music.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, they had squeaky music. His voice is like, Mr. Jones and me. He's kind of squeaky. And
no.
And it had a lot of like kind of music in it, right? That's
no,
what I think.
The album was called August and Everything After.
Why would I listen to Counting Crows when I'm scared of birds? It's a bad
fair.
Why?
But he dated Adam Duritz. Literally dated Courtney Cox. He was like the most famous rock star for the moment.
Good for him.
So I'm just saying I'm appalled that you did not either hear that album. You know Mr. Jones.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the big
he
single.
He was married to my kindergarten teacher. Was Mrs. Jones.
And in college, you never heard that album.
No, I was very focused on NSYNC.
So your friends who listen to
they might have
who may have had some experience with music outside country or contemporary Christian Sandy Patty, they didn't listen to any of that.
No, I was listening to my country queens. Don't get me wrong.
I feel like we grew up in a different dimension sometimes. Even though we are 18 months apart.
I had a flashback last night, though. That just reminded me. I went to go see my friend. I have a comedian friend. His name's Paul Leah. He does a lot of stuff with, Paul. He wants to show.
He's hot.
He's hot. Well, he does his stuff with that comedian Matt Rife, who just like blew up, who's hot as well.
Yeah.
It's his.
He is everywhere, Matt Rife.
Well, they started this thing together that blew up like 2 years ago in the pandemic, he and Paul. So Paul, I went to go see him at the Comedy Store, took a friend. And then Paul gets off the stage, and I'm just sitting there at the Comedy Store, and then Adam Sandler just walks up.
Oh, wow.
And does a whole set. It felt very L.A. And I would look over to my right, and David Spade just sitting there watching his friend.
Was it funny?
It was funny. He told it. He was telling this really long, rambling joke, and I was like, where the fuck is this going? And it took about 5 minutes, and then he ended it, and the punchline was so good, I laughed for like a good straight minute.
I love it. You just told us
I don't
about
want to tell
a
the joke.
And
he was working it out.
And then you said it was a very good punchline.
Well, I can't tell you the joke because, y'all, a comedy club, that's like a cone of silence. You can have no phones. They're working things out. Because I used to be a stand-up comedian, so I know these things,
It's so sacred. Blah, blah, blah. If my eyes could roll out of my skull right now and fall across the floor, they would.
He looked like he had just rolled out of bed.
He always looks like that.
I kind of respect that.
Remember he was like kind of really hot when he did Opera Man? Do you remember
He kind of was then.
He was hot and young.
Yeah. He looked like our friend Avi that we always flirt with.
Yeah. He gave me Dan Cortez too.
Ooh, Dan Cortez.
Okay, we need to move on.
Love that man. Part of my sexual awakening. I'm sorry. If you're a man who watched Veronica's Closet, you're gay now.
Our intern, Frank, is just going, doesn't know who any of these people
he's like,
are.
Who the fuck is Veronica's Closet? Anyway, sorry. We're going to move on.
This is good. He's going to Google Veronica's Closet and go, what the fuck is this?
This is good.
How was this ever on? Kirstie Alley, who the fuck is this? I'm 24.
She's dead. That's sad. She's dead.
She was a Scientologist.
Yeah.
And said really horrible things. So, I'm not saying
No.
she deserves to die.
Okay.
But, you know.
I'm just
the
letting you
less
letting you
said the
sit
better.
in that. Yeah,
The
yeah.
less
That's
said the
that's
better.
right.
How about
we should
that?
move on.
So David's like, we should have a good time. Come to the U.S.
Come to the U.S.
It'll
and
be just like the movie.
just like, and Sheila says, "Do you have extra room in your house?" And David kind of sidesteps it. He's like, "Well, we'll definitely move somewhere else if you come over."
And he's like, well, we'll get a bigger apartment.
I want to look up how much a 2-bedroom is in Omaha. Keep talking.
Omaha is it's definitely the most metropolitan place in Nebraska. I think it's more diverse than the rest of the state for sure.
Let's see. Well, these look very nice. These are like frou-frou, but these are like $1,700.
He does say that she's like, I'm concerned. He's like, will you promise not to hurt us? And he said, I crossed my heart.
That was very
I cried a
sweet.
little bit at that too.
You know, they would have to live outside of the city, kind of up by Bennington.
I don't know where that
or
is.
Waterloo, but they could get something for like $1,300.
Okay. He could probably afford that.
He makes $800 a week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically your rent's supposed to be, what is it? It's supposed to be 30% or less of your financial
This is
income.
horribly
I'm
boring.
depressed. Yeah, I'm depressed too. Just because so many people in America, like 50% of their income goes to rent.
I know.
Here.
I'm saying it's horribly
I
boring
just
that
made
you're
myself
calculating
sad.
rent.
I'm sad.
Gino and Jasmine.
Oh. Gino, let me get your nose hair. Ooh, Gino.
And Coco's going, Gino.
I will watch them trim their nose hair every day of the week. I'm here for it.
Gino, you're the only person I trust to trim my nostrils.
Now, Gino, come inside me, Gino. Come. Okay.
And the image that
She does say, I can breathe better. You can't breathe better when you if you breathe better after you
gotta
trim
have
your nose
braided
hair,
nose hairs. That's intense.
It's a briar wood in your fucking nostrils.
And later on, I guess since Coco was rooting around in the luggage, Coco found Gino's blue pill stash.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to fuck him so badly.
It's like, gee, I liked it when Gino's just walking around with a lipstick all over his face. It looks kind of like you when you have your hickeys.
Yes, you will never get me to disavow this couple. I will always love them, regardless.
Don't say that because
Yeah, you're right.
famous last
Never
words.
works.
There's people we love and then they end up proving us wrong.
They later on, she's like, Gino, you've been able to reach climax with me each time.
It's Gino, I'm so happy when you climax.
I'm so happy when you G's
Inside
me.
of me, it makes me feel like a woman. Which,
Again,
ironically,
actual things that are said on television.
I feel like a little bit of a woman when a man climaxes in me.
Wow.
I definitely scream in my high voice like a
Frank, your call from HR is routed to my phone, so it will probably go to voicemail. So when you need to make that call, leave the message carefully.
That was a high note.
It was. It was kind of pretty.
Well, thanks. It never is pretty when I try.
No, yeah, that's life. It's never pretty when you try.
That is life.
It's pretty when it's inadvertent.
Yeah, that's true. Now, so they go walking, and Gino's like, "Oh, do you look pregnant? Do you think you're pregnant?"
You
calling me fat?
This is just producer initiated. It felt like to me.
So let's talk about this. We have never heard them want to talk about having a kid before.
I
If
think
we do,
he
I don't
mentioned
remember
it the first season.
I believe
but
Gino.
They have not revisited this.
I do believe him. I believe that he does want a
Me too.
child. She has. I didn't know she had two. She has two, not one, two boys. Thank God she has boys.
Doesn't it
imagine
say
she
that
had a girl?
No, absolutely not. Are we still supposed to believe she's 34?
I'm scared of Jasmine, and I'm not going to answer that question.
There's no way. There's no way she's 34 years old.
I plead the fifth, and I don't want her to
Listen
if
and
she's,
come
If she's
knock
in
on
the
the door.
country, I don't want her to come to Los Angeles and just Mortal Kombat my throat and just pull my spine out.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of many people, but I'm afraid of Jasmine.
100%.
And she says, but Gino, what would you do? What would you do right now if I told you I did not want a baby?
And he's like, well, I'm confused.
I'd be happier with a baby.
You wouldn't be happy with me, Gino. You can't handle me, Gino. I can't handle children. It's chaos. Which I bet. I laughed, but at the same time I thought, we don't know anything about the father.
No.
And I bet it probably was a lot of I feel like it was Jasmine raising her. Did she raise her kids on her own?
I'm not sure. I know she's had help.
I don't want to say anything because I don't know how clear
I
the father's
believe they're living with her mother.
So I think so too. Yeah. And so that makes me think it probably was a lot of stress for her. So it's probably I don't think this conversation they actually had where he talks about his family will be there, and also he wants to retire early, and he wants to be there to be home, take care of the baby. Either A, I don't know if she fully understands all that, or B, she's worried that if Gino retires early, does that mean she has to work?
She won't work. Ever. Come on.
She's not. Hopefully he does not think Jasmine's going to go to the U.S. and get a job.
No, that's never going to happen. She's going to do her OnlyFans. But here's the thing. I was just thinking about with this couple. When we start to get into the practicalities and particulars is when this storyline becomes not funny anymore and not fun. Because we remember that Jasmine has 2 small children or 2 children.
It's like everything on 90 Day Fiancé. If you think about it too much, it's sad.
And the fact that I don't know how often her ex sees them, but you'd have to deal with a custody agreement then.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think this is a very dangerous place for the show to skirt, and it makes me uncomfortable because I think we'd have to really uncover a lot more things about her divorce and things like that.
It's like when one of my favorite Sean Cody porn stars was arrested for murder. Can't watch him anymore. Ruined it. It's too. You don't want the details, right?
But you kind of do.
No.
Yeah, you kind of want to know. No. You kind of want to know because you're like, then you're watching them.
No, I couldn't do that anymore.
Put it to somebody,
No.
and it takes on a whole different meaning.
No, it is a little bit. Have you seen that?
Maybe that's just me.
I agree with you a little bit. Did you see that video of Trixie Mattel and Katya talking about Chirac? It's the porn star Chirac.
No.
Basically,
this feels niche.
It's very niche. He's a very popular gay porn. He's actually probably my favorite gay porn star.
Okay,
right now.
I didn't need to know, but
but anyway, he gets. But she tells this thing. She's like, he's like choking people, throw him up against the wall. She's like, I don't want that in my real life, but I want it in my porn.
Thank you. I don't want that in my life either. But I kind of want it in my porn.
It was funny.
I'm going to be honest.
I don't
want brothers fucking in real life. But I'll turn in.
Sorry, Frank.
Again, Frank, that HR number goes right to my phone. But I'll say I want it in my porn. What is escapism for? Speaking of, I think we're going to talk about Barbie on the next pod.
Yeah, whatever we're talking about. That's basically it.
That's the show.
Jasmine says, though, she says the reason she hasn't talked about kids.
I love
She's like,
this.
Gino, I haven't talked about kids with you before because you never ejaculated
You never
inside
jizzed me.
So I didn't have to worry. So now.
Which is a very convenient explanation.
That's
the show.
Wow. I feel disgusting.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
You guys, y'all know you can go to realitygaze.com. That's where you can find all things about us. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
My shorts are short.
They are. I've been looking at your junk all episode. If you're on the Intimate Portrait, you're just seeing Poodle's monkey brains.
Woo!
You guys, I was about to say leave a 5-star review, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to do. I was going to say keep going.
Or just
Queens,
a 2-star. Boom, boom.
but you might want to say cover up your junk, Poods. All right.
For those of you now in the Intimate Portrait, that was for my testicles.
Yeah. I need to go look at Dan Cortez's Instagram and think of something else.
I wonder
now.
if he's white-haired or silver-haired now.
He colors it sometimes, and sometimes I know too much
Wow,
about his wife.
we need to move on.
I'm friends
Sad.
with his wife on
Sad.
Instagram now. It's a thing.
We're going to talk about parasocial relationships and you.
So y'all, that's the show. We call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes, and if you're into freaky deaky brother sex, convict sex in your
Not where I wanted
porn,
to go.
but
This
you
is not
don't
where I
want
wanted
it
to
in your
go.
life, it makes sense. And call us.